What's up, Vapers? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Doolee. Alright guys, random question time. If you were in the circus, would you rather be the person with their head in the lion's mouth, or be the one that gets shot out of the cannon? Now, I want to hear from you guys. Just drop a comment right down there in the box below. Personally, I'm going to go with the cannon because with the lion, you're dealing with a wild animal and you never know what can happen. And I'm kind of a thrill seeker. I used to be an avid skateboarder, jumping down flights of stairs all the time. So that's something that I'm kind of used to, and I'm not really afraid of heights or anything like that. So personally, I'm just going to go with the cannon. Just let me know what you think right down there in the box below. So here we have the Doolee from Vapergate. This one was actually given to me by Yosh himself, with a big shout out and thank you to Yosh and the guys over at Vapergate for allowing me to take a look at this device for the purpose of making this video. And with that, this thing is a ginormous sub-ohm tank that takes 2 different coils. What more could you ask for? So taking a look online, this device comes in 8 different colors for you to choose from. You have matte black, stainless steel, white, and rainbow. And now you have 4 aluminum options as well. And those are red, green, purple, and blue. You can also further customize it with O-ring packs and drip tips, all available on Vapergate's website. So that's the link I'll leave right down there in the description below if you guys want to pick one of these up for yourself. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the Doolee in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging and then we'll talk about what's inside. So first and foremost, Doolee, the elevated premier sub-tank by Vapergate, compatible with TFE8 and Cleto 120 coils. Nice little artsy picture of the device right there on the front. On the top we have the Vapergate logo, this side we have the Doolee logo, and on this side here we have the Vapergate.com and some social media links, as well as a UPC. On the back we have a quick little write-up about the device itself, and once again compatible with Cleto 120 and TFE8 coils. So there you go. Take off the outer jacket there. We have a nice silver embossed box, and it's got the Doolee logo and Vapergate logos on either side there. So let's go ahead and take a look inside the box to see what we get here. First and foremost, the coil style swap instructions. Very easy to read, easy to understand, and honestly, I didn't even really need these, but it's nice that they have it right there on top inside the box. Next thing is, well, the Doolee tank itself, of course. Mine has a Cleto 120 coil in there right now. Yours will come with a TFE8. I believe it's a Q4, but I do have the Cleto 120 in there currently. So let's just put that off to the side. You also get this plastic tank that comes with it, and this is plastic, not glass, so be careful using cinnamon, banana, or citrus flavors because those could potentially crack this thing. It also comes with this little chimney adapter section. Now this will be pre-installed when you get your device because it comes with the TFE8 coil, but I obviously had to take mine out to use the Cleto one, but there you go. It also has this little drip tip here, right there, as you can see. Nice little acrylic drip tip for you. We have a spare set of O-rings. We have the other little pin section for the TFE8 coil, and another little ring there as well for that same purpose. And we also have a couple extra O-rings for other various parts on there as well. Alright guys, let's talk about the specs. It's 27 millimeters in diameter, it holds 7 mils of e-liquid, and it's compatible with Smoke TFE8, Aspire Cleto 120, Horizon Tech Arco, and eLeaf Mellow 300 coils. Alright guys, let's go over the basics of the Doolee tank, starting off with this drip tip up top here. Pretty much your basic acrylic drip tip, as you can see, nice wide bore all the way down there. It is friction fit, so it doesn't have an O-ring on the bottom there, and you can see the bottom bore as well. Unfortunately, this is a kind of custom size. They didn't use a standard 8-10 size fitting drip tip, so it's a little bit disappointing that you can't use your own tips. Hopefully you guys could see the O-ring on the inner part of this top section here. It holds that drip tip in there really nice and firmly. Never had any issues there. And this is also your sliding top fill section at the top. You just slide that open like so, and you have these 2 fill ports right there. That is really great for filling it with a glass dripper bottle. However, if you're filling it with a Chubby Gorilla, the drip tip does tend to get in the way. This part can also be completely removed if you are cleaning this thing, or if you're filling it up with a Chubby Gorilla bottle and you have that tip removed. I would also suggest just kind of sliding that thing out of the way just to fill this thing up a lot faster, but there you go. That slides back just like that, and it has a little kind of a alignment tab right right there on the back side. So as you can see, I'm using an Aspire Cleto 120 coil in there at the moment, but if I wanted to swap that out for the TFE8, all you got to do is just change a couple of pins below this coil, and it's pretty darn easy. You also have the Vapergate engraving right there at the bottom, and the Doolee logo on this side as well. These are deeper engravings, but they're very much non-obtrusive. You also have the airflow section, which is very generous on this side here, and it's dualed on the opposite side there, which is fully openable and fully closable, just like that. It gives you a nice little satisfying feeling when you close it because it has the stopper in there. Plus you have the Vapergate logo engraved on the bottom and the serial number right there, and your 510 pin sticks out quite significantly, so you can potentially put this on a hybrid mechanical mod if you so choose. But that's about all I've got for you guys in this little close-up section here. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off with the pros, and my first pro is that it's versatile. This thing can handle TFE8 coils as well as Cleto 120, which is awesome because let's say you have a bunch of both coils just kind of kicking around and you really don't feel like using either tank. Well, this thing can handle both of those no problem. Or for instance, if you go to your local vape shop and they're out of TFE8 coils, well, you can pick up a Cleto 120, no problem there as well. So that is really great, and it just adds a little bit more value to this particular device. My second pro for this one is the juice capacity. This thing holds 7 ml of e-liquid without the use of a bubble glass, which is awesome because personally, I just can't stand filling my tanks every 2 seconds. And whenever you put a bubble glass on a tank, you just kind of add that little bit of risk factor to breaking the glass because it sticks out. So with this one here, 7 ml of juice without having to use a bubble glass, that's awesome. My third pro for this one is that it's great for the people that want to try something a little bit different. Now, personally, I've never been a huge fan of the TFE8, but I've always wanted to try out their coils, so I can absolutely do that in the Doolee tank here. Plus, it's capable of taking the Cleto 120 coils, which are, in my book, very tried and true. I know their performance, and I know it's stellar, so even if I don't like the TFE8, I can always fall back on the Cleto 120 coils. And my fourth and final pro for this one is that the tip is very comfortable to vape on, and it's nice and wide bore as well. So many tanks have these big chunky drip tips, but they narrow down to a 510 size bore. With this one here, the bore is nice and wide all the way through, so it is capable of getting those huge massive clouds that you're used to with these high wattage tanks, and that is something that I can really appreciate because nowadays you just don't see that very often in the vaping industry. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons. My first con is that the fill port on this thing is a little bit on the wonky side. Now, personally, I just wish they went with one large Cyclops eye rather than the 2 smaller holes. However, I can see where they were coming from with this one because it works great with glass dripper bottles. Now, one thing you're going to run into an issue with this one here is if you're using a Chubby Gorilla bottle, especially 100 ml, it's going to bump into that drip tip and cause you a big headache. My second con for this one is that it leaks if you let it sit for an extended period of time. Now, I feel like this is true for most sub-ohm tanks, and you really can't fault just the Doolee for this particular con here, but it is very true. If you let this thing sit for about 3-4 days in a row, then it's going to just pour the juice out the bottom, which can be a bit of an issue, especially if you have this thing sitting on a really nice expensive mod. My third con for this one is that it doesn't fit 810 tips. You can only use the Doolee tip that comes with it, or their own Doolee tips that they sell on their website, which is kind of a bummer because I have a huge collection of 810 drip tips that I want to use with this thing, but I just can't because they're too large. So with that, a little bit bummed that they didn't kind of standardize it with a lot of the other tanks on the market nowadays. My fourth con for this one is that it's huge. This thing is about 27 or 28 millimeters in diameter, which is absolutely massive. I really want to put this on a lot of different mods, but it just has that overhang, and personally, I just can't stand the look of it on there. But with that, if you're the type of person that doesn't care about overhang or just really wants to use this tank on one of their big giant mods, then there you go. And my fifth and final con is it's loud. This thing is very loud when you're vaping on it. It has a very noticeable sort of tone to it as you're vaping on it, and with that, I'm just going to have to demonstrate real quick to show you what I'm talking about. One thing that I think they should have done with this one here is have 3 air inlets instead of just 2. I feel like that would help smooth out the airflow a little bit, and hopefully it would quiet it down as well. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for review? I'm going to say yes to this one because it's basically like killing two birds with one stone. You have the option of using two different types of coils, one that I know and love and trust, plus the added juice capacity there over the Cleto 120, and I also have the option of using TFE8 coils as well. So as far as the price is concerned, it's only $50 online, which is not too bad if you consider the fact that you're basically getting two sub-tanks in one here with this one. And with that, I'll leave a link right down there in the description below if you guys want to pick one of these up for yourself. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts all about the Doolee or anything else you guys want to discuss down there. Also, check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description below. Make sure you get your comments into the FDA about flavored vapor products, guys. We only have a couple more weeks. We got to push this. Hashtag FDA 100K. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, vape on. Blah, 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 blah.